That's a hard thing to face sometimes, right? Like I had to face that where I'm like, oh, I'm the constraint. This year we're up, 80, 100%.
Welcome back to the Grindcast. So today we're riding in with Spencer Finch, the adventure-driven founder of Mad Moose Rentals in Southern Utah. From UTVs to boats to rappelling cliffs, Spencer's turned his love for the outdoors into a full-throttle business built on fun and great service. With a background in sales and marketing, he's built Mad Moose into a go-to spot for thrill seekers across the Southwest. Get ready for a high-energy ride. Welcome to the Grindcast, Spencer Finch.
Awesome. Yeah. Happy to be here. This is gonna be fun. I'm excited to talk to you guys. So saw some of the previous episodes, a lot of good information, and
love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Yes, this one's gonna be fun because we're outdoorsy people. Like we love riding. We love hitting the sand dunes and going through all that. So tell us a little bit about Mad Moose Rentals and kind of what you do now.
Yeah, so we are an adventure-driven company, right? So our slogan is "Your Adventure Elevated." We basically take people's expectations when they come to Southern Utah and take them to the next level. So we started out just doing rentals, and now we do a ton of tours. So we're in our busiest season, so it's been kind of crazy. Like I was at the lake at 6 o'clock this morning, training the team on watercraft because that's starting. So, but yeah, tons of tours. So we do like 16 tours a day. Wow. Pretty crazy. A lot of guests.
So you've got UTVs, you've got a saw slingshot that you brought, which we're gonna check out. That's cool. And what kind of watercraft do you have? What do you?
Yeah, so we're a Polaris Adventures outfitter. So basically, their whole line of products. They own a few boat companies. We have pontoon boats and deck boats with them. Okay. We do surf boats, and then we also do jet skis. So we're at Quail Creek State Park. We're the concession there.
Oh, okay.
So we're on site. We have like this floating dock that we built. So you just come, show up, and we push you in the water and you're set, ready to go. So take all the hassle out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. I love it when somebody has like a product that's just fun. Like everybody's excited to jump in it, right?
Yeah.
They get a little too excited
sometimes. Yeah. It starts out super chaotic like any business, right? And now we're finally at the point where we have all the processes in place, like the procedures, the right people. So it makes for a really good, experience for sure.
How long has the business been around?
So I started it in 2017. I actually started it in college up at Utah State University and bought 6 paddleboards on a credit card. My wife was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Right? And then, and it was just kind of like my calling in life. Like I knew I wasn't ever going to work for anyone, but I knew I just wanted to help people have fun. Like that's my jam. That's what I did as one of 9 kids growing up.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, we just started renting paddleboards. Then I knew I didn't want to live up there because it's too much snow. So came back to Southern Utah and then started getting into bigger pieces of equipment. Yeah.
That is awesome. So how many years do you have in your fleet now between?
So quite a few. Yeah, we've scaled up fairly quickly over the last 8 years. And so now I know we have like 76 just off-road vehicles alone, and then probably around 120 with watercraft and everything. Wow. So a lot to handle.
That's awesome.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How many people do you have on your staff to
manage? It ranges because we've gotten super efficient with staffing. So, it could be anywhere from 25 to 45 employees.
Mm.
Okay.
And we have a lot of guides too, because they'll come in, they'll take the tours, but like a lot of full-time employees as well. Yeah. And then we have a lot of guides that come in just for the tours.
Okay. Also, I went on one of your tours a while ago. It was, I can't remember when. It was a couple of years ago, and the guide just had so much fun. And he's like, I love it. I'm taking these people out. And he goes, sometimes they get a little crazy.
Yeah.
But he just had a lot of fun, and just that he could do that, and make some money just showing people everything.
Yeah, it's a really cool job. I've done a few tours, and like I only lead them for people I know now, right? But it's super fun because you get to show them the area. They don't really know about Sand Hollow, and it's actually like one of the best places to ride in the country. So since we're a Polaris outfitter, I've gotten to visit. There's 250 of them in the country, right? And we're one of the top ones, which is really cool. But I've gotten to visit a lot of them, and it's just like you come back here and you're like, man, we're super lucky.
Yeah.
And we've gone from doing like 2-hour tours to now we'll do full day excursions to the Grand Canyon from our office, all back roads.
Wow.
So
So cool.
Like going to Toro Weep or going to Whitman.
yeah, Turo Weave,
Okay.
bartend rent. We're doing a overnighter at about, next Friday we're doing an overnighter at bartend. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. The fun part is we have new machines every single year. Like they very rarely have more than 4,000 or 5,000 miles because we're partners with Polaris.
That's so great. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely tuned a lot of things to where it's like you get the best experience guaranteed.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. So how many of them get flipped and destroyed?
yeah,
I know my ex-husband did
I've
one
helped
of them.
pull a couple of
yeah.
back
Yeah.
upright out there. Just
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of the stuff you figure out as a business owner, right? You're like, okay, this is a recurring issue. How do we fix this? And a lot of companies, they just don't have insurance for it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's where we needed to find a strategic partnership with Polaris.
Okay.
So the nice thing is you can come, you can have a good experience, and you have a max out of pocket of $1,500. So if you have an accident, like that's all you're out. Polaris covers everything else. So yeah, most other companies it's like 5,000 or more. So a little bit too much to stomach when you have an accident, but 1,500's about as good as it gets in the industry right now.
Yeah.
The lowest.
Yeah.
do you find are there accidents out there that are happening pretty frequently, or is it kind of a little more rare? I'm sure when you have those really busy.
It really is pretty rare, but we send out so many machines that it can happen every week.
Right.
So, like just 2 days ago, like on it was Wednesday. So you can tell it's busy season. I'm like losing
What
days,
day?
but yeah, Wednesday we sent out 133 machines.
Oh my God.
We send them out twice. So it really just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll have them happen because it's pretty epic terrain. Like Sand Hollow has got dunes, it's got rock crawling. There's a whole YouTube channel for Matt's Off-Road Recovery based on recoveries, right? So
has he ever recovered one of yours?
oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What I find is that just because we go out riding the dunes quite a bit, is that some people will be used to riding on dirt, and sand is completely different. And so sometimes they'll come up on a hill and they'll get a little spook, and they're like, "Oh, I need to stop."
Yeah.
And then that's what causes some problems. And you gotta, I always tell them, like, you gotta power out of it. You have to use gas on
true.
it, no brake.
Yeah, the sand's super unique, and that's part of like when you do a tour with us, we train you how to like get better.
Good.
So it's really fun to see people progress through a tour because they start out so nervous at the end. Like
they're like having a blast.
Yeah.
And like if you're going up a steep hill, like you got to be committed. You can't hesitate. You got to go be committed to go up to the top.
Yeah. So it's interesting because we get people from all over. We're starting to see more of like the international traveler come back, which is nice.
That's cool.
So, people from Germany, Ukraine, like just all over that have like no experience at all. So yeah, we definitely had to learn how to get those groups of people used to driving. I mean, we'll drive them around if they're not comfortable driving. So we have options now for
that's great.
like ride along options where it needed to go and just
They can see the scenery, because this stuff doesn't exist really anywhere else. Like
amazing. And that's kind of how we started. We did rentals, we added tours. Last year we launched membership for locals.
Oh,
so that's a brand new thing
that's awesome.
that we started, which is taken off. It's fun because we take all of like the toys that we have now and we say, hey, you get full access to this, and it's like $5,000 to $8,000 a year, but you get to use all the credits on like side by sides.
Cheaper than owning.
I've tell you, a lot of friends that like we sold their stuff and they come and get a membership because you get access to everything, right? So it's like one day you want to take a 4-wheeler, you got it. One day you want a slingshot, you got it. And it was just like, how can I like make a product for like our community, right? Because I grew up here. I want people to access the mountain. I didn't have access to it growing up, right? Like we never had stuff like this. So that's been super fun. We have like companies come and do it, and that's a new thing where we have 40 members already.
Like a corporate type.
Yeah.
It kind
So
of
businesses do it or families do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. Like I have a raise that I've had for several years, and I think this year I've taken it out once, and last year like twice. And before, when I first got it, I was taking it out every weekend.
Right.
So that that was different. But now it's like I have a Jeep, and we have some wave runners, and so it's like you have these different toys, and you just don't use it as often. Plus you get busy.
Yeah, and it was kind of a new customer type that developed after it just seemed like there was a period that everyone was buying a ton of machines, right? And now it's kind of the period of like there's a lot of used machines out there in the marketplace. So we wanted to give an opportunity for people to be like, let's sell off the one toy we have and get access to like bowls, watercraft, and side by side.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So fun.
That's awesome. I love it.
It's cool. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, so you mentioned, I want to learn a little bit more about how you got into the business. So you mentioned it was in college and you just kind of had, I guess, this idea to do some paddleboards.
Yeah.
Up at Utah State.
Yeah. So initially it was back when Airbnb was kind of a big thing, right? They just got their first evaluation at like $10 billion. And I was like, okay, that's cool. There's a peer-to-peer marketplace. I launched like a peer-to-peer marketplace for your stuff. And it wasn't gaining traction because people weren't comfortable with the idea of like loaning out their own stuff to other people yet.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, fine, I'll just buy all the stuff, right? That's what I kind of converted to. So I pivoted from that to, all right, we'll own this, start this company. And then it wasn't called, we didn't brand it Mad Moose till I moved back down here. But yeah, then we started to like realize, hey, these machines are starting to get super popular. There's this area at Sand Hollow. But yeah, in the beginning, it was just me, right? Like trailering machines every single day, probably like 26 times a day.
Wow.
To get machines to the mountain because I didn't have a physical location.
How many machines did you have then when you first started out here?
It was like 4 to 8. I started with 4, two machines, 2 jet skis. And then we just kept getting more until we had like 20. And it's super capital intensive because I was just jet skis.
I was just thinking about that when you're young and you're starting out and you're starting a business, and sometimes it's hard to do it if you don't have a lot of capital. So how did you navigate that at the beginning?
Yeah, luckily I built my credit since I was 18, so I had some credit. And then also I found people that were able to like co-sign on me because I had maxed out mine after a little bit. And so I was like, friends and family, like let's co-sign on these, like just to be careful. They were collateralized, obviously, by the machine, the equipment.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to scale.
So the first 4, you had those on your own, and then I'm sure the dealerships are like, you have 4. What do you want? What do you need?
You can really need 5 more. This one's in my name. This one's in my wife's name. I was like, Haley, I'm going to build you a credit. So just, this is going to happen. Luckily, she was down with that. So yeah, then it was my parents. But yeah, a lot of them we were able to just capitalize with like the loans and things like that. But
so you were able to buy those with, very little down probably, and then just use those. And then as you collected rent from them or rent them out, then you start using that capital to help grow the business.
Right, exactly. Just leverage it. Same thing that I did with the paddleboards, right? And so it was, finding credit cards that I could get limits on that had 0% interest for 18 months, like just creative financing.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I've never really went through banks because it's just too much paperwork and I'm not like a huge finance guy. So I found partners that had like private equity that I'd leverage the collateral on, give them, interest on their money and then get private money. It's a lot easier to just have them transfer it to my account than fills you all the headache.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you did that same thing with paddleboards when you first started.
Yeah.
That was how you bought those. You just put those on a credit card. You bought 4 of them?
It was 6 paddleboards, and then it was like $6,000. Yeah, pretty much on a card.
Okay, I love
0 interest card, 18 months, $6,000. I'm like, we can rent these out and pay this off. Paid it off in like 4 months.
Oh, nice.
So that helped.
Like, okay, this will
really get more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of that in the beginning for sure.
Where did Mad Moose come from?
So that we were just thinking one night, like we didn't want to name our company Red Rock or Full Feather in Utah. We're like, hey, we want to create a brand. And I went to school for marketing and entrepreneurship. So I was like, I want this to be something that people remember. And we mentioned like the Purple Turtle up north. Like most people know that restaurant just because it's like a different name.
Okay.
And we're like, how do we do this? My brother's name was Moose.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so we could use, I'm going to steal that.
I'm always mad at Moose.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, it's got to be something crazy because it's, off-road, outside. So we just decided to call it Mad Moose, and then it stuck from there.
That's cool. Yeah.
So
when you started early on, what did you do for marketing? So you buy these paddleboards, you've got 6 of them or whatever, and you've got $6,000 on a credit card. How did you get that out there? Like, okay, we need people to start running these now. Before this credit card bill comes due,
right?
You got to start generating something to cover that payment.
Yeah, I think, and that's like a lesson I've learned over time is like, do as much free direct marketing as you can. Like there's a lot of channels now that you can use, right? Social media is free. KSL.com is free. Like there's a lot of places where you can put your brand out there and your name and you'll get traffic for little to no effort, right? It's basically your time. So a lot of it was, okay, I don't have any money right now, but I can spread this out, be consistent, send out the message, tell people what I'm doing. And that usually generates enough income to like at least cover a baseline of expenses.
Love it.
Right. And then from there, you're diversifying your customer base. So I'm a big fan of Alex Ramosi, and he talks about, the core four of marketing.
Yeah.
And then paid ads becomes a part of the strategy, right? We use affiliates now, but in the beginning, it's just like your warm outreach, cold outreach. You're just finding as many people as you can for as little as possible. So I did a ton of that.
KSL classified.
It was
like, and
classified, and social, and just social media. I'd share it with friends, family, and it was enough to take care of that. Like $6,000's not that much, right? So it's like when you get these rentals going and adding up, like especially where it wasn't $6,000 I didn't need to take care of quickly. It was just the payment, right? Because it was 18 months interest free,
right?
So yeah, kind of creating a plan, strategy going into it, executing on it. If it didn't work, like I had a plan to say, okay, we're cutting it, we're dropping it, we're selling the boards.
Okay.
Right. So worst case, like I'm out $1,000, $2,000 because I could sell the boards for less. So
yeah,
I always go into it with like a little bit of mitigated risk, but I'm very, I have a very high risk tolerance. So I do a lot of,
generally is how it works.
Yeah, I do a lot of fun stuff, and a lot of it works out and some of it doesn't. So that's usually the case that I tell people, like a lot of your stuff will work out, some of it doesn't. If it doesn't, cut it, move on, pivot, and just keep going because it will work out, right?
Did you kind of stay that same size when you were out there, just having those 6 paddleboards, or did you increase?
Yeah, I never had more than 6. I kind of learned quickly that paddleboards is a lot of work for very little return, right? Because it was like I was obviously undercutting some other pricing at the lake, so I could actually get some movement. So like, take these, bring them back. My model was like inflatable ones instead of the hard pack ones because they fit in your trunk. You can take them.
Oh, it made sense.
And not have to worry about this huge kayak or paddleboard on top of your car.
Yeah.
So, it's just finding like your little niche that would work.
Yeah.
And going with that. But yeah, I've kept 2 of the paddleboards that I originally had. I still have those in the back office. Everybody tells me to sell them, but I'm like, well, that's kind of how I started.
You're like, no.
I might inflate those. We're building a new building on Sand Hollow that's going to be finished next year. So I'm like, maybe I'll inflate those and just like hang them up or something.
You should, for sure.
Remember? Yeah.
That's awesome. So you had that, and then you decided to move out here. And then when you came out here, you just started seeing some opportunity with machines instead.
Yeah, and I actually started on my own. I was doing pretty well. I found a company out here that wasn't doing so well. They called me and were like, hey, we want to hire you. I'm like, well, I don't really do that. Like I have my own business and I'm actually doing probably better than you guys now. Right. So then they called me back 6 months later and said, hey, we're still struggling. Like we can't figure this out. I'm like, well, I'll buy your company and in exchange for the assets, because they had some more machines, like I'll give you some equity in my business and bring you on as partners. Because I really wanted their location, really wanted their grandfathered insurance policy. There were a couple of things that I really liked about it, but didn't really need them or the assets. But to make that work, traded some equity, and that's how we got our location where we're at today.
And that was, how long ago was that?
That was in 2019. So 2 years after I started.
I remember seeing that switch all of a sudden, like that building being rebranded.
Oh, do you?
I had rented before, and I'd rented one after. Yeah, I had some. Well, I guess I had my own, but I had some family that came in and rented.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Seeing the switch, and then
so we switched that. That was when I first got my first employee, because they already had some employees. So I was like, okay, I'll take you and you. Let's do this, right? Because I'm like, if we're gonna have a location, we're gonna scale up. We're gonna get some of their business. I had their customer base I could outreach to now. And then we scaled super fast. So we got up to 20, 30 machines. Then we searched out for a partner with Polaris, got that contract, and that allowed us to scale from 20 machines to 70, from 1 year to the next, which was crazy. Yeah.
That is great. So were you able to, how much equity have you been able to maintain over the years? Because I know that usually...
Yeah,
Sometimes I get tricky.
yeah, I'm definitely a fan of like partnerships over like, hey, I want all of this to myself,
Yeah.
right? I'd rather have just a bigger pie. Like there's a really good book out there called Slicing Pie that I read that just helps scale. So yeah, like I've kept half of the ownership and I've actually brought on those partners have now passed like the business on to my brothers. So they bought them out 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's super fun because I have myself and then two of my brothers now as partners in the business.
That's cool.
So yeah, it worked out super well.
Does that work out pretty well?
Oh yeah.
Brothers?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
Sometimes it's tricky with family.
Yeah, it's super easy for us for some reason. I'm the creative side. They're tax accountants.
Oh.
I'm like, here, you guys do this, I'll do this. And yeah.
So what do you think was the difference with that other company not succeeding or failing, and when you come in and then all of a sudden, it starts driving, you start growing? What do you think the difference was? What were they doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of businesses, like, because we go and I actually help coach and scale businesses now. And my target market is like, I find the owner operator stage, we call it. So they're still operating the business. They're in the business. And our job is to pull them out of the business, right? And help scale the company. So they were stuck kind of in the, we're the owners. We have some like managers and it should just work out, right? But like nobody's doing the outreach, nobody's doing like the actual marketing to get customers. They're not solving like restraints. It's just like they're waiting for people to come to them. Yeah, and in today's like whole mix of marketing, like to put it in a nutshell, it's never been easier to find your customer. Like it's so easy to like find who you're looking for. The data's there. Everyone has phone numbers. Everyone has like a device. Like you can do outreach and get people's attention.
You're not going through the yellow pages. Like
yeah, exactly. It's not like so it's never been easier to find your customer. Like you just go to where they are. And the trick is, I think, is we understood who those people were. And the easiest way is to find somebody that's already doing it super well and where are they getting their customers and finding those same sales channels.
Okay.
And then it's just rip off and design, right? Like research and development. You're just basically building better sales channels. And the whole goal really is like for us is to provide more value for any of our customers. And as long as we're providing the most value and the best customer service, like that's our mantra that I preach to our employees is like customer service, we are number one. And they totally believe that because like we are. So we have the best differentiators. And once you get that fixed, then
the rest is easy.
yeah. Because there's only two sides of the business that we look at. There's your cost of acquisition. So you're either acquiring more and there's the fulfillment, the lifetime value. So when you're going to fix a business, there's usually a problem of like, we don't have enough customers or we have too many customers and the fulfillment's terrible, right? And there's ways to monitor that, right? Like you have a lot of business, but your reviews aren't as good. And what you want is both.
Right.
So that's what we're solving now. Like in my position now is at Mad Moose, I'm in a founder position, right? So my job is just to find constraints, solve them, and then find new sales channels that we can scale up. So
I love that. That's very cool. So was it challenging when you took over? So they had kind of a brand and you're rebranding and taking it over.
Yeah.
Was it challenging there to kind of rename it and you kind of go through that process, or did you find it pretty easy? Like people know the brands of machines and they're more familiar with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of businesses, especially owners, like they're so tied to like their brand and their business name. But really what it comes down to is like just nobody knows who you are, right? Like it's even for Mad Moose, like I'm aware enough that like nobody knows who our company is, right? They just want to have fun. They want to have a good, machine. They want to go out and have a good time. Right. The branding helps obviously because they'll come back and remember Mad Moose. It was Moose something, right? But yeah, so we were able to go in, totally shut down just everything with that name. And there's different reasons. Like we don't want any past liability or anything to do with like the old LLC or company. So when you're looking at acquiring a business, those are some of the little nuances that you want to just avoid. So yeah, but it was mostly their customer list. So we just take the customer list, say, hey, it's us now. We actually are going to do a better job because of this, this, and this now. And people get excited about it. They're like, oh, cool, like something new. Or, yeah. So yeah, another trick that we show businesses is like finding what your customers care about. And with AI tools, it's super fun now. So you can go into your specific reviews, right? People leave like Google reviews, and you just have the AI, analyze it, find the key points that people like.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Because it's all about the customer. Like you want to see how they perceive your business because your perception might be off, right? And perception is reality. So you want to go in, you can go in and look at your reviews and see like, why are people working with your company? What do they care about? What they're voicing is what is like the biggest deal, right? Like that they liked about it. So if you're starting your own business and there's obviously 100 others that are doing the same thing, like it's not that unique, right? We can be a little honest with ourselves. It's like, this isn't the first time this has happened. You can go and analyze like competitor reviews across the country.
Yeah.
I like that copy, paste, drop.
Oh, you're literally finding
ChatGPT, like, why do people like this?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
So you're basically looking at, and that was where we found a lot of success, right? I went out and found the best companies that did this all across the country. I found 1 or 2 reasons they did really good.
And then model.
And then I pulled that into Mad Moose. And now we have like 12 to 15 reasons why we're really, really good.
That's awesome.
And it's all reasons that people care about, right? Because they voiced it in reviews that maybe weren't at our company, but they were at a different company.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a super fun tool now that's basically free.
Yes.
So like I said, like the information's out there and you just have to be super fascinated with your customer. So either like, where are they? What are they doing? Learning more about them, and you'll find, things that you can start selling, right? Like we never did sandboarding. I found a company that did really good with sandboarding and offering it on tours, and people were mentioning it. So we added sandboards, and now we do a ton of that.
No, right. Okay.
We'll find new products.
That gives you the ideas from reviews and
Yeah.
whatever we're doing.
Well, I'm an idea guy. That's like my
I love that.
my superpowers. Like I can come in, see ideas, like how to fix things.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah, finishing it isn't my strong set, so I have.
You need a finisher.
Yeah. There's a really good new book. I mean, it's 2 or 3 years old, The Working Genius, and it shows you kind of like your skill set in work. So mine's innovation and galvanizing like ideas, and then rallying people around those ideas. But it's not the tenacity, like the finishing of tasks. So I have members of my team that like that stuff, and I start it all, and then I give it to them because it wouldn't get finished properly without them.
That's great, because sometimes people think that they have to do it all, and it's really harder if you try to do it all. You spread yourself a little too thin. So if you have that, where you're like, you've got to recognize like, these are the parts that I'm really good at, and let me do those, and we find somebody that's going to do the parts that I'm not as good at.
Totally, yeah. And really, like the weaknesses in your business is just a reflection of weaknesses that might be in yourself, right? And so it's just developing those or outsourcing those with partners that have those strengths. So it's really good to be aware of like people's strengths. So these little assessments, like the Working Genius has an assessment tied to the book.
Oh, that's cool.
It gives you an idea of like, here's what I'm good at. Here's what my partners and employees are good at. Yeah, I actually made my whole family take it. Because I'm like, hey, let's, we're trying to do stuff as a family. Like, let's find out, what everyone enjoys. Because there's certain things you do at work that bring you joy and energy. And then are pretty obvious that there's also things that you have to do at work when you're an entrepreneur that take away your joy and energy.
Yeah.
And you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff. So
try to minimize that.
All right. Exactly. Yeah. And you're better off doing things that bring you joy and energy, and then letting other people do the tasks. Yeah. So success is never like, and on your own, you can find success, but like when we're helping companies scale to like the $3-5+ million range, you need a team. Like it's just, to get to that scalability.
Oh, for sure.
Because the goal with the business, to be honest, should always be to sell the business, even if you are or not. Like,
love that.
What is the business worth? So, and being clear on that, because without that, all the emotions come in, like the fear, the anxiety, the stress, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do this anymore. So if like,
they'll sell.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I know I want to sell Mad Moose for 10 million in 5 years, and it needs to be worth that.
Yeah.
The next 5 years are planned out. Here's the goals. Here's the metrics. Okay, cool. It needs to grow by 9% every year. That's doable. That's exciting.
Yeah.
You see the end result. Yeah. Like, boom.
Now you have something to work on.
Exit strategy.
Yeah. And if it comes down or back up, depending on what happens, right? You just readjust, but you need to have that vision. So that's what we do now is we go to businesses.
Measurable goals.
Yeah, and we have a software for it now. Like you shoot out the goal, it plans it out for you. You can renegotiate your goal. Yeah, and that helps.
That's awesome.
That's kind of my new mission is like, how do I give more time back to business owners?
Love it.
Because it's in the beginning when you're an owner operator, it's just time. Like it's just taking all of it, right? And then we help transition them to what people call the CEO or we call the founder role.
Okay.
That's where they get all their time back. And they start to be able to have more maker time, creation time.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to have some manager time, right? But we want them working on their business instead of in the business.
Yeah. I like how what you did to grow and kind of bringing on those partners rather than saying it's all mine. I've got to do, I've got to have it all. I'm going to bring some strategic partners and that's going to help us grow even faster.
Yeah. And when I was looking at acquiring them, I just remember making the decision like, okay, if I'm going to do this, like it has to 3x the business, right? Like, cause if I acquire them and it doesn't build it that much, it's not worth doing. I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
But like that was an opportunity where like this is going to 3x the business because of the location, the insurance, like having some of the differentiators we needed that we didn't have. So we're like, okay, let's do it. Right. And that's where I was like, okay, we can make this happen. We can bring in the employees. That's going to pull me a little bit out of it.
Insurance is a tough one. Back in Salt Lake, I had started a rental business and the insurance company, in fact, that company acquired, the insurance company they used was the one I was chatting with about insurance. And then they had just cut it off. They're like, we're not doing it anymore. So
like MBA insurance or whatever. Yeah, now there's very few that do it. There's like Equip, there's Markel, super expensive. And
you need it. And you need it, like, because you never know if somebody can destroy the machine or whatever. You need that insurance. And so that was when I had a couple of machines I was just running up north.
Okay, cool.
And then I was like, no insurance, I'm out.
Yeah, it's just and it's a very complicated business. Like I look at it and I'm like, man, I picked like one of the hardest industries and the hardest 5 years, like with everything going up, going down, shutting down, just travel in general being affected. Little things like tariffs and stuff like that. All of a sudden, all the Canadians were like, we're not coming to the US. We're mad. So it's just like being able to be in that business allowed me to like grow super fast personally and being able to pivot quickly, find new customer types and really scale madness quickly. Cause we have to find 80% of our customers are new, right? You only get 20% return. So I've gotten really good at finding people to buy my stuff, and that's what's helped us like grow and scale. So that's why we've been able to do it quickly. And again, this year we're up, 80, 100% from last year, which means a lot when you're talking higher, revenue amounts because it's a lot more customers. So,
right. So when you increase size a lot as far as machines go when you acquired them, and then when you go to you do this partnership with Polaris, and then definitely kind of expands a lot.
Yeah, so that allowed us to scale our fulfillment. So then I could scale acquisition because we had the machines to fulfill, and then we could scale kind of our product offering, right, from rentals to tours. We could start hiring guide, and now we're just working on bringing in more sales channels. So we work with a lot of online travel agencies. We work with a lot of affiliates. So a lot of
strategic
partnering down. Yeah. So, St. George overall is booming, right? Greater Zion has, helped give Washington County kind of a name to work off of, which is super helpful for tourism. Yeah. And it's just, St. George has a lot of potential for that increased space. Like resorts are getting built.
Right.
So our industry will grow quite a bit still here.
That's awesome.
I love it.
What's your vision with that? Like going forward, like just
for Mad Moose? Yeah, for Mad Moose. Now I'm just I'm in a founder role, right? So I spend most of my time with a company we call Rise, where we partner with other companies and help them scale. But with Mad Moose, it's literally that in 5 years to sell it for $10 billion. Okay. And we probably, I don't know, like we might sell it, we might not. At this point, like I don't care anymore if we do. Yeah. But when somebody comes knocking at the door, I'll be able to tell them specifically, like, here's what it's worth. Here's everything. The books are kept. But yeah, like in any business, once you start doing about 500,000 to 1.5 million a year, you're at the point where we come in and we want to help, because that's when you're like, okay, the owner's going to start, or the owner operator is going to start turning into a founder. They need to hire people. They need to put processes in place. And the whole goal is to be able to sell their business, right? They can't sell their business if it's just them operating. Like if there's one person, running paid ads and doing something, that's great. But how do we turn that into a business that we can actually like sell?
Right.
Like if I disappear somehow, like the business still needs to be able to sell without any key man risk, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I love. Now I'm finding mentors and people that can help train me on like getting that whole dialed. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask. I think one of the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs face is work-life balance. And there's like, oh, that doesn't exist. But what's been your experience with like handling that in the beginning stages?
Yeah.
Because I know you have little ones.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Like, and for me, it just comes down to like what I decided is I just need to be present where I'm at. Right. So if I decide that I'm working on the business, I'm working on the business, and I'm focused on that. If I'm at home, I'm with my kids and I'm focused on that. So I've kind of had that mindset where sure, there might be like some work-life balance and there's not really like percentages, right? It's different for every person because we're all in such different scenarios. Like our perspectives are crazy different.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to like, how do I be more present where I am? And that's kind of helped in business too, right? Like if you're able to be present, it is a good signal that you don't have like all of these red flags popping up in your business that you have to go put out at the time, right? So yeah, because there's always going to be some sort of fire going off in the business. It's just what percentage of fires is okay, right? And there's going to be a percentage that's okay, right? Like what percentage of machines are going to roll? Like it's just always going to be there. Yeah.
And then you have procedures in place to handle that.
Right. Yeah. Because it happens the same and people forget. I forget super fast. Like my short-term memory is just rough. Right. So I have to have those processes together, written down, structured, so I can go back when my team asks me like, what is this? Like, what is the minimum age? What's our deposit? Like, let's refer to our employee handbook, our operations, our list of, frequently asked questions. And it's really fun to put that together. Like it's so simple now. Like you got all these tools where you can train them. There's a lot of customer, CRM softwares that you can use that just make it a lot simpler for sure. But yeah, there's right now, I think the most money to be found for businesses is in their existing customer base, is on the phones, is on existing relationships that you've already built. You'd be surprised at like how many people you've already been in contact with.
Yeah.
And it's not always finding new people. We obviously have to do that quite a bit, but we also have a lot of contacts that we continue reaching out to and we have a relationship with them. So it's that repeat buying. So yeah, a lot of businesses are stuck in that like, oh, we always have to find new clients. Like there's so much in the past of like that customer data that you have. And with these tools, you can analyze it, find out, who's still interested. You can send out texts. You can send out. Yeah. And text works so fast, right? Just instant. So yeah.
And it's like, I think the stats are like 97% of text messages are read in the first 3 minutes.
Oh yeah. It's super. And it's pretty crazy. We do a lot of analysis on just customer attention, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I loved Gary Vee's book, Day Trading Attention. He just came out with that one and it just talks about like finding people's attention, not holding any social media platform on a pedestal because it can change, turn off, turn on really fast, like we saw with a few of them. So one of the fun ones was like phone calls. And the CRM that we use is called Podium, and they have, 15,000 businesses that they run. They did a whole study on attention, and right now, like a phone call needs to be answered within 5 minutes, or like your chance to actually close that customer drops like 8%, like crazy high.
Wow.
Which is funny because like in our business, we automatically came up with that rule by ourselves, like under 5 minutes, because we started to see some metrics and things. And then when I was on a call with them just last week, they showed the whole graph of like across the country of everyone they work with, especially in the service-based industry. And it's 5 minutes.
Wow.
So
Is that when a lead comes in and
yeah, a phone call.
a phone call to that lead?
They're calling somebody else right after.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
for
like,
sure.
how do I, then you think as a business owner, okay, here's the customer expectation. And what do I need to put in place to be able to facilitate that kind of response time? Right. And that's how you start to scale. Is the number one rule is just go after revenue first. Until you're doing, over $1 million a year, you can put whatever number on it. But until you're doing tons and tons of revenue, like just focus on fixing revenue. Yeah. Because sales cures everything else, right?
That's
Bill comes in, cool. This comes in, cool. Accident happens, right?
Right.
But as long as the revenue's there and the cash flow, that's the biggest factor that can,
What would you say is the
that
biggest
sense.
challenge you've faced with this experience or with MadBoost?
Oh man. For me personally, it was just finding the right people. And as I've heard in other episodes, I think it's correct. Like a lot of people focus on like the how of building a business, but it's actually the who, right? And so once you get to a point where you're the constraint in the business, that's a hard thing to face sometimes, right? Like I had to face that where I'm like, okay, MadBoost would grow, but guess what? I'm the constraint. Like I don't know what the next step is. So once you find out like there's a limit and you're like, dang, we did the same revenue last year, this year. Like the sooner you can find that out, the better, because you're like, oh, I'm the constraint. So what do I need to learn to take my business to the next level? Like then you find a partner that can take you up. But I needed to find the team also first that could support what I had built up to my point. So then they could manage that so I could get to the next step and then I could bring them up. So it really is kind of a journey of that.
Yeah.
And what I've learned also is the right employee for when you're doing $1 million a year isn't always the right employee for when you're doing $5 million a year. So as you scale up, if that person doesn't grow and scale with you, then sometimes like letting those people go is like super hard to do, right? And you've had employees that have worked there 5-6 years, and you think, hey, like this isn't a good fit anymore because it's just like, like you're not wanting to take it to this next level, and that's where we're headed. And then kind of cutting those people off because I care a lot about people. So that was a super hard transition, but it is interesting how that happens. Like for yourself, you have to grow into the next position, and if the team doesn't, you've got to find new team members. Yeah. So that constant.
Yeah. No.
There's I think it's a book. I can't remember, but I've heard a long time ago. But it said, "What got you here won't get you there."
Yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
We think that like everybody's just going to grow with us, and the reality is that they all don't.
Yeah, and some of them don't really want to, and that's fine.
Yeah.
They have to have like that own desire.
For sure.
Right? And some of them go past what your position allows. All right. So like this position, once you get clear on the business, you're like, here's the pay range, right? We pay here to here. And guess what? Like you kind of cap that out what that position's worth. So if you want to earn more, like there's other opportunities out there, but until the company can afford more, right? Like that's just kind of where we're at. So, yeah. But definitely that was kind of the biggest thing it's just people. But yeah, there's a lot of just good resources now. The same guy that wrote The Working Genius wrote a book called The Motive, and he talks a lot about the founder position and just what you're supposed to do in that position, right? And it comes down to like people. Like you're going around, you're motivating the team, you're helping them grow. Yeah. Because as you're growing, like they need to be able to, or you need to bring in additional talent.
Right.
I love that all these books exist because there's so much there. You can get such a good education business if you're willing to read, and it's cheap, right? If you're willing to read and learn those things. Like Built to Sell is an amazing book that talks kind of like what you mentioned, where it's like get the company so that it can be sold. Everything's running so efficiently that it can be sold, and you might not want to sell it then. You might want to, it's running itself really well, but you have the ability to tomorrow sell it if the right offer comes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And Layla Hermosi talks about, hiring people who know more than you, right? Like that's one of the biggest problems that we face is like as founders, we want to know so much. We want to like figure everything out, but sometimes it's better to bring in somebody who knows more than you because they can take the company a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love their stuff. I'm going down to they have acquisition.com in Vegas. So I'm actually doing their trading next week in that way.
Fun.
Awesome.
And the way they have that team presented, I talked to like their HR manager and how she finds talent and all of that. But it's super interesting once you see like the motivation some of these people have. It's just more inspiring, right? Because as an owner, sometimes you get stuck in owner operator.
Yeah.
And you lose the motivation. You're like,
yep,
I just have a job. Like, my gosh.
Been there.
But then like really what's missing when that feeling happens is like there isn't the vision tied to, like there isn't the desire, right, for the next step. And it's the same thing happens with our employees, right? Like that desire is missing. And it's because the goal is missing. So we'll come in and we'll say, okay, so like, what do you want to do with this? And then they sit and they're like, yeah, what do I want to do with it?
Yeah.
Right. So it is important to like redefine those goals and just renegotiate with yourself. Like renegotiate is a big thing and it's okay to do that. Right. So I could renegotiate next year and say, you know what, like I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to do this. Here's my new clear goal. So taking time is a little harder for business owners right now to like, and we call it like slow down to speed up, like a slow down session. Or we'll call it a clean and clear. Like we'll come in and do a clean and clear process with a business and say like, let's redefine this and slow down for a minute. And then it allows you to like speed up super quickly after. It's pretty fun because once you get that vision and you sell yourself on the idea, then you're off again. You're like, oh, this is doable. This is a lot of money. This is cool what I've already built. Let's go. And that's where the grind turns into like super fun again. Yeah. That's what I love is the fun part of scaling a business.
Yeah. I wanted to check out the website really quick. Wes, we can pull that up because this is playing in the corner here and I just keeps catching my eye. Like, it's so much fun right there. It makes me want to go outside. So anyways, you've got up there, this is where you could do the rentals.
Yeah, so we have like the two different sites. So we have like a madmoose.rental site, a madmoose.tour site. And you can see kind of all the different stuff we offer. It's really important for us to have like good content so you can see yourself.
Love it.
Doing this stuff. But we're pretty lucky in Southern Utah. Southern Utah just happens to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Which is
now, do you have like video as part of it, like drone footage and? Yeah,
we have a ton of drone footage, a ton of images. We do listings with a bunch of different companies. Airbnb just relaunched experiences. And we sell our experiences on there, and they're doing the same thing they did with houses. They're actually sending us photographers to get more content. So it's content's kind of the quickest, easiest way to get bookings right now, right? Like, and that's why it's easy to find your customer base because they start Facebook groups, right? They start these channels. Like UTV Utah has like 60,000 members, right? And so like we know our customers can be in there. They can be in, Zion travel group websites that have 30,000 people.
Yeah.
So you find these groups, you listen to how they talk, and you're like, ooh, I could build something for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have that as like part of your packaging though. It's like the video footage. Like,
to get
like photography.
Yeah.
So our guides will take photos. They have the option to add a photographer.
Yeah.
It's actually less common than we thought.
Okay.
Because everyone's just filming on their phones now.
True.
But we do have some. We've had people get married out there, do these like big events. We had Hulu, like I said, just the other week. So
sure they have their own stuff.
Yeah, they have their own stuff. But we've done it to where like they'll come out, they'll shoot with the drone and the video, and then we'll give it to them after. But all of our guides definitely take a bunch of photos for people because then they'll leave a review and upload the photos. And we know how well those rank. Like if you have a review with photos from a customer happening quickly, like your Google rankings just go through the roof. So yeah, we set pretty clear goals. Our goal for reviews, 100 a month, 1,200 by the end of the year.
Love it.
Yeah, so it's fun to see the team absorb those and then take it. So that's why it's important. They have to buy it. You have to sell your employees on your company, right?
You have some pretty incredible reviews.
Sure. Yeah, they have to see that vision as well.
Yeah. So yeah, and we're on track. So like it helps you stay on track too.
Yeah.
Right. And it's fun to show them like, hey guys, we did it. Like, let's do it again. You guys are doing a great job. Or if we're not hitting it, we ask questions of why. They tell us feedback of why it's not happening. And then we adjust.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole loop.
Tell us a little bit about, so you pulled up in a different vehicle than what we normally see.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you brought.
Yeah, so we do all of Polaris's products lines, right? So they make Slingshot, they call it. So it's a 3-wheel vehicle. People love taking them through Zion. I love taking them through Zion because you get, below those cliffs, and it's an open air, cockpit or whatever you call it.
Do you have a picture
convertible
of the website?
Yeah, you should be able to go to the book now button. You could click that, or the Slingshot page. But if here you can kind of see we do the rentals and tours. If you would just click the rentals in the top left and then find the Slingshots. So, but yeah, people drive these through Zion National Park, through Snow Canyon, and it's just fun because you see so much more than you would in a normal car.
Oh yeah,
that is awesome.
And yeah, they're cool. I mean, Polaris comes out with new stuff every year, and the benefit is we get the new things every year. So every time they come out with something cool, we're just excited. Like they just launched Indian here locally at United Moto Zoo.
Yeah.
And so Indian motorcycles might come in the future, but right now the Slingshots are our main like on-road product. Yeah, and they handle really well.
Yeah, and sport bikes. Feel free to do those.
Yeah, and sport bikes. Yeah, so
you can never get that insured.
Yeah, but we do a lot of deals for locals. Like we have the membership, obviously. So we meet customers where they're at, and we change it up when it comes to like pricing or tiers or levels. Yeah, and that's kind of how we package up these deals for different people.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
If someone were watching this and they're just starting out in business, or they're wanting to do some kind of business, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would definitely say to jump into whatever you're doing and test like immediately. I say it's never been easier to find your customer, but it's also never been easier to like fail fast. So like start it, develop it, throw up a page. Doesn't even have to be a website. Like start a Facebook page, Facebook group, throw out your idea, send it to your friends and family, get feedback, and fail it quickly or pivot and move to the next step.
I love that.
But yeah, like test it out. And once people, respond to it, you've got something, right? When people pay attention to it and they're asking you, like, how do I pay for this? Yeah. Then you've got something, right? They may like the idea, but till the funds transfer, it's not real. So once they start giving you money for what you're doing, but yeah, I would say definitely go for it. Ignore the emotions because the emotions are going to be there at every single level. And usually it's just a signal to yourself that you're missing a piece. And so take that fear, that anxiety, and go and like, those are usually signals of like, hey, I need to go understand more before I take the next step. So go understand, come back, the emotions will be gone, and then you'll hit it, right? So like if I do that a lot with just stuff, right? Like if I'm impatient, then it just means I need to find something to do in the meantime. Then I come back and the impatience is gone, right? So it's just use those emotions as tools to push you towards something rather than pull you away from your goal. So yeah, I would say go for it. And if you're feeling those things and don't know how to deal with it, like find another business owner. The ones to listen to are the ones that are more successful than you, and they're always willing to help out.
For sure.
It's the ones that, yeah, if somebody's living a life that you don't want to live, it's not usually good to take that advice, right? So just know that, like you said earlier, it's fun. There's a lot of free tools and there's a lot of really good stuff out there. So for me, it's easy to get distracted and confused and I want to do everything, right? But give it a full go and then pivot if it doesn't work. I'll get after it. Yeah.
And the website's what was the
Mad Moose? Yeah, you can go to Mad Moose.
MadMooseRentals.com.
MadMooseRentals.com. MadMoose.tours. Yeah.
Okay, before we finish though, we need to go check out this slingshot.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool. Yeah, let's go for a run. Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm excited for this. We're going to check out this slingshot.
Let's go.
All right.
Hopefully it doesn't. Oh, we got a little bit of rain. That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
good for,
gonna
you
be
know, the
fun, though.
loose traction, you know, in case you want to get crazy.
This is the one that will drive a little crazy.
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
I'm the
knows how
safer
to
driver
drive, too.
She will go out there.
Am I
So
sitting on your lap?
No, you guys
tell
go.
us,
You
tell
two.
us what we have
Yeah.
here,
Oh my
though.
gosh.
This thing looks like
so
so much fun. I haven't been in one of
Super
these.
fun. I mean, they're 2-seaters. You've got automatics is what we use because not a lot of people know how to drive manuals
do they have
anymore.
Manuals?
They have manuals
Oh,
though.
that'd
Yeah.
be so fun.
But super stable, more stable than you would think. Really easy to drive. Yeah, and you get all the aspects of today's weather. But on a sunny day, you get all of that too. So,
Yeah, a little bit of rain today, but
pretty
that's okay.
sweet though. They're nice. They got sound, music, Bluetooth, navigation, all the sweet tech that you could want.
That is so much fun.
So.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, people really like Zion, and then going up near Virgin, kind of up to the Kolob Terrace Road there.
Oh yeah, it'd be amazing to
That's a
drive
fun
through
road.
Zions with this, or even Snow
Yeah.
Canyon, just to drive
Snow
through with the
Canyon's
view
pretty,
and everything.
like
It'd
with
be
the
amazing.
dunes and the walls. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're just taking it through a drive-through, you know. Yeah.
Let's do a drive-through.
Yeah.
You can drive for that one.
We
I'll
have
watch.
people use them on their weddings all the time, like as like the getaway car.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh really? That is
Yeah,
so
they
cool.
love them. So
Yeah.
yeah, take it
Awesome,
for a
man.
spin.
I love it. Okay.
If you're warm enough.
Yes. Let's take it.
You gotta brave it and try it. Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Just hop in, hit push to
I'm
start.
Oh, that is a blast.
Now I should drive.
Yeah, if you want.
There you go.
That was so much fun.
It's already the Chamber of Commerce color too. So
It
just
is.
Put a big, yeah.
Yeah,
be
just
on
get
there.
the logo on it. And
Yeah. Put
It is.
grind
That was a
on
lot
the
of fun.
side,
We're gonna have to come.
put grind and
Right.
on the other
The
side.
grind.
We're gonna have to come rent one and then go through Zions and check it out. Like that's amazing, and it's surprisingly like it's quick.
Yeah, it's got some spunk. Like the shifting is interesting because it'll want to shift, so you kind of come back, shift, and then hit it, and then just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Cool.
Sweet.
So
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
No, it's fun. I love what you're doing. I love the business. I love seeing you guys out there. I love seeing all these people just having so much fun. And I'm a little jealous of this business because it's like, it's so cool. Like you get to do something that's just amazing. And these people remember this stuff forever. Like they remember being out there on the rides and maybe they in a rollover.
Yeah.
They remember those things forever, and it's bringing people together, and it's just giving them joy. And I love it. I love seeing it out there.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah, that's what brings me joy and energy. So like last night when we had a group, like 20 people that went out and they got wet, it was raining, they saw the lining, it was just crazy energy after. Like they were gathered up, you know, yelling, talking, just super happy, hyped up afterwards. So that's what I get back from the business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to your question earlier too, it's like if you're going for it, go for it because the reward is there.
Yeah.
Right. So just remember that for me, my motto is it always works out. It might not be how you envisioned it, but it will. So just keep going.
Love it. Thanks so much for coming on.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me.